What's up, YouTube? I'm Brett from Rants. As always, guys, if y'all enjoy our content, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave that comment down below. We're on the road to 1,000, and we hope you guys can help us get there. Alright, so, Zack Snyder has become kind of a hero among fans. He, of course, the release of his Snyder Cut, it was so unbelievably better than Joss Whedon's version of the Justice League. There's no doubt about it. It was a win for fans just as much as it was a win for Zack Snyder. That being said, I feel like sometimes it gets left out of the excitement that Warner Brothers also profited off of releasing the same movie twice. So let's not kid ourselves on that at the end of the day, while it was a win for fans, it was also a way to bring goodwill and to make a lot of money of releasing the same movie twice, and then making countless more millions of dollars out of it. So it was a win for Warner Brothers as well. But Zack Snyder makes no bones about his displeasure with Warner Brothers. And I'll tell you a little bit what I think about what he's trying to do. He's come out about, all these different things of, well, this is what my Justice League 2 and 3 would have been. I think he's trying to strong arm Warner Brothers into creating his world again by letting fans know about this. And I think he's thinking in the back of his mind, well, a lot of it had to do with fans, chiming in and about how they wanted to see actually the Snyder Cut of Justice League, and they won at the end of the day. So maybe out of all the goodwill that he's got with fans, let alone the success of the Snyder Cut, that maybe he can strong arm using the fans as his tool to do so, strong arm Warner Brothers into giving him a Justice League 2 and 3. Of course, there's also been reports that he's not interested in that. But I just don't believe that necessarily because he keeps talking about it. But let's just go on and let's read a little bit about what he said. Warner Brothers put him through, because of the Snyder Cut being released. It says right here, it says Zack Snyder is not being shy about the torture Warner Brothers put him through during the making of the Snyder Cut of Justice League. Fans and critics have offered praise to Snyder's cut of the film, with many hopeful to one day see more of the director's vision in the DCEU. Whether or not that will ever happen is likely dependent on how long Snyder remembers the treatment he got from the studio this time around. It says the theatrical cut of Justice League, which was released in 2017, was reshot and directed by an uncredited Joss Whedon. Following the film's poor reception, many fans and eventually even cast and crew joined a growing movement demanding that Warner Brothers release the Snyder Cut, believing Snyder's original vision would have resulted in a far superior movie, which it actually did. Far superior. I mean, there's no way of undercutting that. It was far superior than Whedon's version, by far. Their collective prayers were answered when Warner Brothers announced work on the project would begin in 2020, and again when HBO Max officially released Zack Snyder's Justice League on March 18, 2021. It says Snyder spoke about his relationship with Warner Brothers during the Justice League Snyder Cut experience in an interview with Rants. While he does not regret getting the chance to make the Snyder Cut, he says the studio didn't make it easy for him. According to Snyder, they're the ones that have been aggressive, not me. I haven't done anything. He went on to talk about some of what he dealt with, explaining, every day they'd turn around and do some weird passive-aggressive thing. So I don't know. It's weird, he continued. It was cool to do the Snyder Cut of the Justice League, and that was fun and everything. But Warner Brothers still tortured me the whole time for whatever reason. They can't help it. I don't know why I'm such a effing pain in their ass, because I'm not trying to be, honestly. And it goes on to state, furthermore, Snyder stated that what happened with the studio is not normal situation. It's a once in a generation bizarro situation, from the original experience back in 2016 to 2017, all the way to the Snyder Cut, where Warner Brothers was still giving him notes and forcing his hand, such as the insistence on removing Green Lantern John Stewart from the movie. It is not hard to see Snyder's point. Luckily for fans, he loved the project and made sure to say he had a great time making the Justice League and that he was glad I got to finish it. Look, there's just no way around it. I feel like Warner Brothers doesn't know what it's doing when it comes to DC, anyways. When it comes to this whole DCEU world that they've got going on, I feel like they just don't know what they're doing. They want to go more Marvel way, but then at the same time, they don't want to look like a clone of Marvel. So then they try to do their own thing. Their own thing doesn't work. Let's face it, if Zack Snyder would have come out with the Justice League without it just being him, and it would have been a 2-hour movie, it really wouldn't have been game-changing in any form or fashion. It needed to be a 4-hour extended cut for it to be relevant, really. So, Zack Snyder, fans want Zack Snyder to come back for Justice League 2 and 3, and I kind of feel like people forget some of his past work, and even kind of forget the idea that, hey, it was the only way this movie worked was for it to be 4 hours long. That was it. I mean, so, if you think he's going to go out there and save the day in Justice League 2 or 3 in a regular 2-hour movie, you're probably mistaken in a lot of ways. I'm not saying Zack Snyder's a bad director. I'm not saying that at all. I think he knows what he's doing. I like the idea that, hey, he's someone that's got a vision and he works to go in that certain way. But I don't always believe that his steps of doing so are correct. Is he better than Joss Whedon? Of course. But at the end of the day, whenever you're comparing anybody to Joss Whedon and who is better, it's always going to be the other, never Joss Whedon. So, at the end of the day, I just feel like Zack Snyder is basically trying to strong arm Warner Brothers into basically hiring him back on to do a second and third installment of Justice League. And I feel like he's kind of using fans as a means of getting what he wants. I'm not saying that's necessarily a bad thing. I'm just saying I think we just kind of need to be real about it. He's keeping this in the news because he's wanting fans to look at Warner Brothers in a negative light, which they already did, and look at him in a positive light. That he's the savior coming in to save the day. And if only Warner Brothers would give him the shot to do it, he could make this DCEU thing work and make it better than anything that Marvel's got to offer. Could. It could not. More than likely, it could not. I mean, let's just put it that way. He more than likely could not. But unfortunately, I wouldn't be shocked. Well, I say unfortunately, and I don't mean it in that way. It's not a negative thing. I think we'll actually see a Justice League 2. I really do. I believe that we'll see a Justice League 2, and I believe Zack Snyder will be at the helm of it. Because I don't believe that, if Warner Brothers is looking at this as a company, and they're like, wow, that Snyder Cut really did do a good job. Maybe we should continue this process a little bit further, this progression. Maybe carry it a little bit further. And, give fans what they want for once. But do you really think that they would allow somebody else to helm that? Probably not. Because they would, they're not stupid, too. They know that if Justice League 2 goes out there and bombs, that what are fans going to be saying? Should hire Zack Snyder. I mean, so he's in a real win-win situation, and Warner Brothers is in a lose-lose in a lot of ways, because I think Warner Brothers knows that with all the excitement that went with the Snyder Cut, that that was lightning in a bottle. That was only a comparison that made that film remarkable. It was and it wasn't that it was a bad film. It was an amazing film. But at the same time, it's compared to its original, and that's what adds to the amazing part of it. Because we're like, crap, that is so much better than what we got in theaters. So, at the end of the day, I think Warner Brothers is actually kind of clear thinking on that and being like, well, if we would have given him 2 hours to do this movie, and no one would have ever saw the Whedon version, they would be like, oh man, this version of Justice League that you gave us kind of sucked. They would have probably said, you would have probably heard fans chiming along the lines, it's too dark, don't like the apocalyptic feel to it, some things on there don't make sense. One was Martian Manhunter, Superman's mom. I mean, all of these different things along those lines. I felt like those kind of things would have been added on, and that would have been fans reacting in a negative light to Zack Snyder instead of the positive one that they do now. But I think Zack Snyder realizes right now that he's the savior of DC, and that he has Warner Brothers over it right now. Warner Brothers is going to have to hire him back because fans are clamoring for a Justice League 2. They've got to give them what they want. I don't care what they say. You cannot tell me that Warner Brothers doesn't have this in the works right now. And I think Warner Brothers realizes this one thing. Zack Snyder has to be the guy that's over it. They can't add someone else to that part. Because if they do, fans will be like, well, this sucks. We want to see what Zack Snyder has to do. It doesn't matter if it's a great film. People will be like, well, this was great, but what could Zack Snyder Zack Snyder have done with this? I mean, there would always be those what if moments. So don't be surprised if you see a Justice League 2 in the next coming years with Zack Snyder at the head. There's a reason why he's keeping this newsworthy even after the Snyder Cut. He's wanting that job. He's wanting to finish what he did start. I actually kind of, to a certain extent, hope he at least gets a chance. Because, frankly, you know what? I enjoyed the Snyder Cut. And if he could do that in 2 hours in the next movie, maybe make some of these characters more relevant, which he did in the Snyder Cut in the next movie. I would be really open to that. I mean, who wouldn't want to see Darkseid? I would love for that story to move forward. I loved what they did to Cyborg and Superman, and the added things that they did with Flash and Cyborg in this movie. So I mean, I feel like, and I even enjoyed Ben Affleck as Batman in this movie. So overall, I would say, yeah, we're probably going to be getting to see a Justice League 2 in the very, very near future. And don't be shocked if Zack Snyder's the guy heading it. As always, guys, let me know what y'all think down below. Do you think that there'll be Justice League 2? Do you think Zack Snyder will be over it? Do you believe that he's painting Warner Brothers as the bad guy so that he can look like a better guy? And so that Warner Brothers, since they're already the villains of this, will have to hire him, who's beloved by fans, to fix this mess that is the DCEU. Let me know what y'all think down below. As always, guys, thanks for watching.